everyone, Charlie and I are super excited. We are going right now to interview a Dogman eyewitness who Charlie was speaking to last night, and he was going to do a video interview, but we had a turnaround and decided that instead we were going to go out to the location, and this guy is going to meet us. We're going to interview him out there, and we're going to see the exact location of where this Dogman encounter took place. So we've got Whiskey with us, sleeping. We've got Angelo with us, also sleeping. I just realised Charlie and I are wearing matching shirts. That was not pre-planned.
I had mine on first.
He did, I forgot. But all that being said, before we get there, because we've got like an hour's drive ahead of us, I think, maybe just under now. I'm just going to quickly interview Charlie about Dogman. So, Charlie, tell us your thoughts on Dogman and where it came from, and if there is any comparisons that can be made between Dogman and Bigfoot.
Well, as you know, a Dogman is a cryptid. It's not a Bigfoot. A Dogman typically is not as large as a Bigfoot, a little bit thinner, muscular still. I would say 6 to 7 foot tall, where a Bigfoot in Kentucky maybe 7 to 8 to 9. Dogman has a muzzle, protruding snouts, which is obvious. They got pointed ears on top of the head, or sometimes the ears are on the side of the head. Most of the ones I've documented, they did not have a tail, although I've heard reports of them having tails. The legs are bent backwards, like a dog's legs.
It's creepy.
I know. I don't know what that is.
That's the creepiest part.
I mean, it looks like a werewolf, like a wolf on 2 legs, but with broad shoulders, more human-like through the torso. So I don't know what a Dogman is. I kind of think it's more paranormal, supernatural. Maybe, comes and goes.
Interdimensional?
Into our dimension, and I don't know, what that is. Where a Bigfoot, I have my theories that Bigfoot is a hominid, closely related to us, that has not gone extinct, maybe related to Gigantopithecus or the Denisovans, who knows. A Bigfoot even has some, I believe, Homo sapien DNA in it, based on the intellect and some of the characteristics that witnesses have described. But a Dogman, I don't know. That is creepy. A lot of witnesses claim them to be menacing, evil. So, this is a little nerve-wracking, going to the exact spot where he saw it, even though it was 4 years ago. It's the exact location.
A little bit. I've got nerves of steel. So, last time we went to a Dogman location.
She ran. Last time we went.
I didn't run.
You ran back to the truck.
I didn't.
Yeah,
You
did.
ran.
I did not.
I didn't. You did.
The video is online. You can find it.
It was scary. I'm not going to lie. Dogman is kind of terrifying. And we've got a bit of a stormy night as well. It's just started to rain. It's just going dark. Just starting to go dark. So it's definitely atmospheric. And it's going to be good. So we'll get this guy on camera. We'll do his interview, which we're super excited about. We'll film a little bit of the location. And coming out, we'll probably do a little bit more filming. We may discuss how it all went and our thoughts on the encounter. So something a little bit different for you guys tonight. It's not the usual Bigfooting with Charlie and Lyndsey. Tonight we're doing Dogmanning with Charlie and Lyndsey. So stick around. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so we just met with Mike, the witness, and we're now headed to the exact location where the sighting took place.
He's in front of us in that car. So Mike and his family, he brought the family along. They're in the car in front of us, and we are going to the spot where he saw a Dogman. All right, we're at the location, and Mike has been gracious to meet us here. Hi, Mike.
How you doing?
Thanks for joining us. And if you want to kind of describe where it was, and we'll walk down there.
Well, you see the barn there.
Yes.
Well, there's a valley in between that barn, and then it starts up this hill. Well, see, I was coming around that corner there, and I caught the eyes. Now, I thought deer, but I thought, man, that's got some weird eyes for a deer. But, you know, so I keep on, and I slow down, because like, oh, no, I've already hit a deer out here. I'm not tearing up my, truck that I got. And it's like, no way. So I slow down, lights on bright, and it's like, I'm waiting for you to cross. Well, it did. It come up out of that valley, right across that thing, right down into, you see that tree line that goes there? Down into that creek line. But as it come up, dude, it was standing just like I am. And the whole time, it never unfocused on me and my windshield as it went by, like boom, boom, looking. And the only way I can describe that is I think it knowed everything I've ever done in my life or something. It reads your soul. Like I said, 45, because I'm traveling these roads at night and stuff. You never know if you break down, you don't want to. So yes, I had my gun, had a camera, but it froze me in fear sitting right there when it was in the headlights. And that's why I said, people say, maybe you mistaked it. It's like, dude, I had bright headlights on. I know what dogs look like. I know what a bear looks like. I know what this stuff looks like. When you spend 55 years of your life down here, and from the time you're 5 years old going out in the woods coon hunting and stuff, you learn most of the species. Well, I never seen nothing like that one. And it's like, I looked right at it, and then it dropped down, and I was still shook up when I made it home, and I'm probably another, I'm going to say 8 miles on out through here. And I was still shook up. Called my brother that night, and it's like, dude, and I don't even know really what more to say except for, if you see it, you don't want to see it again.
Well, let's walk down there and take a peek. And
if you ever see it, I guarantee you won't want to again. Like that. Well, like I was telling you, my cousin. Now, if you keep going straight on this road, you'll go up a mountain. That's called Drip Rock. And at the top of that mountain, on her bus route at 4:30 in the morning, she sees this thing. It shakes her up so much, she goes back immediately, makes them change her bus route, or she said she ain't working there no more and doing this route. Now, that's a bus driver. You seen what she said. It scared her to death. She's like, that was horrible. So, I said, I asked her if she, would like to come out. I did get a phone number for you to call her, but she's like, I'm busy tonight. She said, I don't even like talking about that.
We're at the spot now. So describe again where this was and what happened.
It come up on that, you see how that little valley? Well, I seen it coming, probably, I'm going to say 20, 30 foot. And that's the reason I went ahead and stopped, because I thought it was a deer. And that's when it come across on 2 legs, standing like we was, like if you just took off running, and come up. That's when I seen the snout. I seen the hairline, and it goes down to like a skinny waist, almost a human look. Now, I'm going to say, I guess it dropped down or whatever. I didn't stick around long enough to find out. I just wanted out of here. I ain't going to lie. That's the only thing I could think. They say flight or fight.
Or flight.
Well, I was pretty frozen in fear. And when I did get myself together, when it come down over this, I was definitely on the flight pattern. I was gone. But now you tell me something like that, 2-leg. I tell you what, just walk down that if you think you
Oh,
can.
yeah, that's steep right there.
Now
very
that's where
steep.
that thing went right on down. Didn't that seem like they had a problem? So I come out the next day thinking, I know it hit down through here. Going to be tracks. No tracks.
Yeah, it looks very steep right there, going down to a
That's
creek.
why I said I wouldn't try, but you're welcome to try and reenact it if you think you can just be like, oh, I can run down that. I'll hold your camera.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm going to do that.
So,
Now, what time of night was this?
this was about, I'm going to say about 2:30 in the morning because I just left my brother's house and he lives actually in town where that bridge is.
Hold on. Let that car pass. Okay, go ahead.
And it was about 2 o'clock when I left his place. So it was about 2:30 in the morning because I'd stopped by Shell, got a pop, and was, just heading home, calling it a night.
And how fast were you going?
Well, when I was coming down the road here, probably about 45 to 50, but I was dead stopped when it actually come on up because I didn't want to hit it.
Okay, hold on. Let this car pass. Okay, were you coming from the opposite direction down there?
Yeah, I was coming this way.
Coming towards us.
Yes, and I stopped about where that sign was because, like I said, I seen the eyes like, oh no, I don't want damages from a deer. And it wasn't a deer.
So he came up that embankment.
Yes, and
Went over.
That's a pretty bad embankment.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm going to look at it real quick.
Here's what I found.
Let me look real. You guys be careful here. Look at this.
Now here's the thing that I found strange.
Look at that.
Spike, so when you say you saw eyes, you mean you saw eye shine?
Yes, and you tell me something in that valley has to be awful big to be giving me an eye shine. That's when I come back the next
Hey
day.
guys,
And that's why
come over here though, just because the car's coming.
Can you describe the eye shine?
I kind of thought
Did it
it
have
was
a
a
color?
deer. It's kind of, if I had to say, if you could take a dog and a deer, eye shine at night, and mix it.
What color was it, the eye shine?
Kind of like a yellowish green, orangish, kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I bet. I guess if you could take a dog and a deer and mix the eye shines, it was very weird.
And you've seen deer eye shine before.
All right, guys, come back over here.
Yeah.
I mean, where I live up there, we got a big open field, and I mean, we see deer nightly.
Right.
We see bobcats. We've seen the mountain lion. Like I said, I've seen it all out there.
Right.
We got bears on deer cams.
So but what I'm getting at is you know what you've seen, you know what you're looking at. When you see deer eye shine, that's something that you recognize.
Yeah, well, I knew
Right.
that one looked strange. That's what I said. It's like, but, trying to normalize it in my mind, it's like, oh, that's a deer. It's the only
Right.
thing I could figure. It's like, well, that's some kind of weird deer, and maybe it's, something. But when it got up here, it's like, whoop. And then when I come back the next day, it hit me. Well, that thing had to at least be 7-8 foot tall. I was able to give me an eye shine that I could see down in that valley.
So at what point did it become apparent to you that this wasn't a deer? Like
Here, hold on a second. Let this car pass.
I got a truck, so I light up at night when I go to work.
right.
So it was apparent to me when I would stop, dead stop, and it come up off that bankment, and the first thing I see is a wolf's snout that his horns are up here, and it's like, wait a second, it's like, dogs don't do that, and it's on 2 hind legs, and it was just big, and like I said, it was just whoop. And I'm driving at that time. I was driving that truck, which is it was a GMC set up on 33s, and it was still higher than that truck.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
So,
yeah.
and ever since then, I don't like it. Now, my wife, she leaves at 2:30 in the morning too, also to go to work. And she said she hates this spot, and she said if she ever sees it, she's quitting work, and she's done traveling. So,
Well, that might do it for me too.
She said, I wish you'd have never told me. It's like, well, I was pretty shook up, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I told some people.
Yeah, Dogman is it's terrifying. Now, did you know anything about Dogman before you had this experience?
No, everything I'd always heard was of a squatches, and Bigfoots and all that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, and all I was kind of like, well, I've been in these woods all my life, and I've not seen the first sign of it or anything else. Well, sure, we hear wood knocks and stuff at night around my house and hoops, which if you all ever want to have a day to come out, I got a big field you can camp in. And if you hear that thing squall,
oh, we would love to. We would love to.
You're more than welcome to. But that's when I actually started. I put a post on Facebook around here. It's like, hey, has anybody ever seen that? And that's when my cousin finally told me about it. What she said, same thing. And a couple more people said, yeah, they have seen it. And everybody seems to think it likes Happy Talk. Now that's a road, if you go up here, you take down Murphy's Ford, and about halfway through it, it's you got to have 4-wheel drive, you know, like side by side to get up in there, unless you go all the way to Jackson.
Right.
And that's where another cousin of mine lives. And he's been trying to catch whatever something is that keeps taking his livestock, small. And, you know, it's a muddy field. He said, I've heard the growl, I've heard this thing. He's like, and we set up, and he's like, but we never can catch it. It don't leave no tracks. And that's what I said here. I couldn't find no tracks.
Right.
So I know it's on feet. I don't know if it drops to a floor, but how can you walk in mud and not even leave a track? Now that's what really gets me and makes me think, is it a skinwalker? Because it's not a native land here. So I'm kind of almost thinking, could it be?
Yeah, I want to ask a few questions. Were the legs bent backwards or straight like a human?
From what I could tell, they looked to seem about like ours.
Okay.
From what I could tell.
Did it have a tail?
To be honestly, I really can't recall if it did. I don't feel like it really seemed to have a tail. It just seemed, like I said, when it come down, it was still hairy, but it looked more human-y.
Okay, more human.
At that point. Well, I was like, a wolf man? And then that's when I started discovering on the internet, oh, there are such thing as a dog man. It's not wolf man. And it's like, oh.
What color was it?
All jet black, dude.
Jet black.
Jet black. Black as you could, I mean, about black as your coat.
It was jet black.
Yes.
It was on 2 legs the entire time.
That I could tell. I know it was when it crossed this road looking at me. As
Okay.
far as when it went over there, well, no, I couldn't tell. And plus, I was frightened going home.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention except for, oh, this is a deer and I ain't hitting it then.
And how tall was it?
I'm going to say anywhere from 7 to 8 foot, somewhere in there.
And had a muzzle?
Had the muzzle, had the, you know how they have that big fuzzy mane and stuff? It had all that.
And
now the hands wasn't like paws though. They was more, from what I could tell, longer extension. I'm not going to say claws, but it seemed like, you know how a dog's paw is. This seemed to have a longer fingers or something.
Yeah.
From what I could tell.
What about the ears?
Dude, just like you see on the wolves and stuff, it had kind of a just little, you know, barely. So
were they pointed ears or rounded ears?
These ears was more of, from what I can remember, kind of come up kind of more as a point like. I don't know, you know, I don't know if they can crop a dog man's ears, but kind of like if you crop one side of one, kind of.
Would you say they were on top of the head or on the side of the head?
probably about on the side right
More,
before the
a
top.
little bit more. Okay. I've heard them both ways. I've
I
heard
said,
people
well, this was
side and
more
top.
sideways, kind of like a little that you see.
And how many? Let this car pass. We got one more car coming. Actually, 2 cars, and we'll wrap this up here.
Well, usually it ain't that busy out here.
I know.
Always the way. No,
Oh no, we're just doing an interview.
no, we're talking.
I just seen one run across the road the other time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good counting. People will stop and
Yeah.
That was a nice thing to do, wasn't it?
So back to the description of the creature. It crossed from up here from right to left. How many
Well, it'd be left to right.
left to right to you, right? You're coming from the
Well, yeah,
opposite
way I
way.
look at it.
Yes. And then how many strides do you think it crossed that road?
Well, one, I think would put it about to the middle. The second one was at the end, so probably 1 to 2 steps, and then it went down.
So just a few strides. Yeah.
About 2 strides actually is all I can even remember, because I remember it's like, hey, this thing shouldn't be looking like that on 2 legs. And
Speaking of looking, did it look at you or?
yes, the whole time it come up and across that road, it never lost eye contact. That's why I said it's like it read my soul. And that's what really creeped me out the worst. It's like never lost eye contact.
Yeah.
I mean, just like if I went past you, just like that, never lost eye contact.
Could you see the teeth?
No, couldn't really see no teeth. I just seen that it had a muzzle. I'm glad I did see teeth. I'd probably not be doing this interview.
Yeah.
I'd be
Let this
heart
car
attacked.
pass, okay, Linz? We're gonna let this one car pass, and then you can ask a few questions real quick. We'll let him get home.
Yes, tin and chewy.
I was saying, now, I would continue this at home and just go ahead and let you listen for
Oh, it's
the
okay.
hour.
We were hoping to get a lot of this before dark.
I was going to say, but then honestly, this spot, I know I don't like it.
Let's see, Lindsay, do you want to ask any more questions? I'll put the light on both of you. There. You got any more questions?
I'm interested to know how it made you feel in that moment, and if that stayed with you. I know you touched on it a little bit.
Like I said, I felt like it took my soul. It totally froze me. If you ever been frozen in fear, I don't know if you have. I was totally frozen. And afterwards, I don't really know how to describe it except for, I don't know. I've never had a panic attack, but I've heard people say it. And I just
Right.
felt inside like, if I had come close to one, probably for the next 2 days, I had one
Yeah.
from it.
What you said there about it looked into your soul,
That's what it feels like.
I have heard that from somebody else.
Oh, well,
Another
that's the
witness.
best way I know
Yeah.
how to say it. It's
That
like it reads your soul.
Right.
And I guess that's why it don't lose eye contact. I don't know if that's a tactic or something. Like I said, I don't have no experience with that.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody that I can ask and be like, so is that normal?
right. Yeah, I have.
Only
heard
thing I
that.
know is my experience, and that thing reads your soul.
Yeah,
And if you ever experience it, you understand. And it's like, you can't describe that, can you? It just freezes you, reads your soul, and you know. It's like it knows everything. You know how people say you die and everything flashes through? You get that same thing as it's looking through your eyes. It's just like, poof, poof, and it's like, man, this thing's reading my soul.
do you still get emotional?
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I don't like it. I'm with my cousin. I will talk about it, but I really don't like it. Not when I think about that, because then I kind of think, is it demonic? Because what else could make you feel that way?
Right.
Let this car. Hold on, Lindsay. All right, let's wrap it up here. Just any last questions you wanna?
Well,
I just want to say briefly, you mentioned Jackson. Did you mean Jackson County?
What do you
taking
mean?
that road to Jackson.
Oh yeah, if you go up here, I live on 1209, going toward Jackson is where I live.
Jackson
And-
County?
Yeah.
Right.
And now, in closing, I've got a daughter. Well, she's not got her job now, but she was a forest ranger down here for Red River Gorge.
Nice.
But due to the federal cuts and stuff, now she don't have that job. They just laid her off.
I just heard about all that.
And well, she was having her house redone, and she stayed with us out here for about 2 weeks. And she didn't say nothing about a Dogman, but she said, "Do you realize?" She's like, "Something does wood knocks from the back of this place. Then you'll hear it over there, and then you'll hear it." She's like, "You only hear one or two, one over there, maybe a couple there. Then it's quit." And she says, "Every once in a while, something to howl." And it's like, I've never heard that, but that's my daughter. I believe her. And I told her, I said, "You know the job you do?" I said, "You ain't supposed to be saying that." She said, "Well, the job that I do, and I hear it." She's like, "I'm going to tell the truth."
Good for her.
So,
Yeah, some do. Some do. Some are tight-lipped about it, but
I was going
some
to say
do.
it, and she had no reason to lie.
Right.
And I just told her, I was like, "Well, stay up on the porch." And like I said, my other daughter there, they've heard it, or we think it is. And I think it might. Honestly, I don't know anything about them. Do they like cave systems? I mean, you guys might know. I would like to ask that system, because when you hear this scream over by where I live, like I said, over on my neighbor's back up on a mountain, and we go up there during the day, it sounds like whatever it is comes there. So have you all heard it likes cave systems?
There's debate on whether or not they use the cave system. Dogman in particular, there's a lot less information about their habitat and where they stay and all of that stuff. Bigfoot, there's two different camps, whether or not they're in and out of the caves. Some people think that it's too risky because they could get cornered. Yeah, I heard that. I thought I heard a howl. But if you look at a map, somebody once made a map of Bigfoot sightings overlaid on all the cave systems, not just throughout Kentucky, but throughout America. And there does appear to be some consistencies there. So it's possible. And Charlie can talk a long time about that stuff. But just before we wrap up here, I just wanted to let you know, in Jackson County last year, we went and did an on-site investigation out there, and the witness, also named Mike actually, has got Bigfoot activity on his property, and a friend of his was out on that land and actually saw the Bigfoot one time. That video's not come out yet, but we'll probably try and link these two together because they're in such close proximity. But yours is a Dogman. But
Well, do they travel together or anything? I mean, I don't know.
some people
Now,
believe so.
I've heard from just trying to investigate that Bigfoot sometimes will travel with coyotes and stuff.
A
But
relationship there, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I like I said, there's not a whole lot of information I can get on the Dogman.
Yeah.
I guess I call it a wolf man.
Yeah.
So, but
there's some podcasts out there that you can listen to, and there are quite a few sightings out there, but definitely not as many as Bigfoot. But we've still got a lot to learn.
I believe I would have rather seen a Bigfoot because they couldn't look that evil and read my soul. Because everybody I've seen with the Bigfoot interviews, I ain't never heard somebody say that. And it's like, well, then you didn't look into these eyes. It ain't that ain't no squatch. That's a straight werewolf of London again.
All righty. Well, thank you again, Mike. We'll head back to the vehicles.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You got the phone?
We'll kind of follow her since you got the light.
Yeah, we'll follow. Stay close. Well, that was a great interview, wasn't it?
Mike is an amazing witness. Like, the amount of detail that man can remember.
Well, something that traumatic, you're gonna remember every detail, because that's a very exciting, scary.
Right. I'm always blown away by the amount of detail witnesses remember. because for me, I think for me to see something that traumatic, that terrifying, I'm pretty sure my mind would just go blank. And I know he did ask me at one point, he asked if I'd ever been paralyzed with fear. And I'm hardcore, so I don't get scared that often. But I have been paralyzed with fear. It wasn't through a Bigfoot experience or anything like that. It was hiking on the side of a mountain, and I got stuck on just shale, and it was like this. Anyway, I was paralyzed. So, but I know my mind went absolutely blank. So how witnesses are able to recall so much detail, I just admire them for that so much. But he was great.
Well, I also too, I think it's a different type of paralyzed or in shock. When you see a Bigfoot or a Dogman, you're looking at it. It's not supposed to be there. And then your mind's trying to wrap itself around, what am I looking at? Is that a person? Is that a bear? Is that a coyote? So your mind's really trying to process it. So you tend to pay attention to the detail because you look at this, you look at the face, you look at the features, and I think that's why witnesses remember so much, is because their mind's trying to process, am I looking at a person, a bear, or a Bigfoot?
Right. And I guess immediately they begin analyzing what they're actually looking at, and then they go over it so many times since it happened. But I think the interview was wonderful. We were talking and we missed a couple of pertinent questions that we wished we'd gone over with him, but I think he covered pretty much everything. But if you managed to pick up on those questions that we didn't ask, be sure to add them into the comments below, because we do know the answers now, and if we don't, we will find them.
Yeah, I think he was sincere, honest, credible. He took his time, right, to meet us out there. He was not looking for a video interview. We had messaged on Facebook, and I asked him, can we do a phone interview? So we had set up a phone interview, and then I realized, wow, we're only about an hour and a half away. Let's go do a a video interview on location where he saw it. So it's even better. Whenever you can meet the witness on location, it's even better.
Right. So he had actually never even expected to do an interview. He just wanted to share what he'd seen with somebody that might believe him. And that happens over and over again with witnesses. So great guy, great witness, highly credible. I'm excited to see this one edited and how it comes out, and I hope everybody enjoys it as much as we did listening to it. It was fascinating.
And like they say, witnesses have everything to lose and nothing to gain.
Right.
So by going on video, you're risking a lot of ridicule, scrutiny, etc. So, he's not getting money for going on camera. He's not getting fame or fortune or anything like that. He wanted to tell his story because he believed in it 100%, and he didn't care what other people think.
Right.
So we're very appreciative, Mike, you sharing that story. Maybe some more people will come forward. Hopefully, in the meantime, the school bus driver who also saw, he thinks, the same creature, maybe I can get her on the phone at least, right? Maybe.
Hopefully we can link it all together.
Yeah, that'd be even better.
And then we've also got another on-site investigation that we did last year in Jackson County, which is so close to there. That was a Bigfoot. There was a witness that saw it, and then a gentleman also named Mike that owns an area of of land out there that he's got some Bigfoot activity on. We went out there to investigate. That is wonderful too. So we might be able to link these two interviews together.
Yes. Yeah, it's good when you can connect the dots and look, okay, there's a sighting in this county. It's right next to another sighting in the adjacent county around the same time frame. So it's really good to put them on a map, which we have a private map of Kentucky of every county, and we have pins. We put pins in every single county, every spot wherever there's been a sighting, and we can kind of look and see where the clusters are, and that's where we go do expeditions and investigations where those clusters are.
Right.
Well, that was fun.
That was great.
Yeah, it's a nice
That
way
was
to
a lot of fun.
a great way to spend a Thursday night.
Right.
Nothing-
Date night with Dogman.
Oh yeah, I like that. We could make it a regular date night, but we need more Dogman reports. So
Right.
I'll just take the date night.
All right.
Sorry, we diverge. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.